I like recording with you. Hey everyone, welcome backward to my channel. My name is Vanessa. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I am with my favorite person in the entire world, Julio, my fiance.
You're my favorite person too, I must say.
This video will be a Q&A. We're gonna be asking him some questions that I wanna know, you guys might wanna know. And at the very end, stay tuned. I will be posting our engagement video. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The first question we are going to ask him, how did you know it was time to propose?
Yeah, I knew it was time to propose because we had been dating for 3 years, and I think we had like a strong conviction that we wanted to be with each other. We knew that we wanted to build our lives with one another. You know, not everything is going to be aligned or perfect. Not everything is going to be in order. I knew that I wanted to get married. I just didn't know when. And I was in a transition season, so I was graduating college. Just a lot of unknown or unexpected or what's the next thing to do. So I was praying to God, what do you want me to do next in my life, and what would be the next stage in life. And I thought he was going to tell me about career or business or different things, but he actually talked to me that it was time to get married. I think I knew because we had the same beliefs and kind of the same visions for our lives were aligning, and we just enjoyed spending time with one another. I was in a worship service at church, and I just felt God tell me, like, you were next to me, and felt God tell me that it was time to get married. And then saying, okay God, well, if you want this to happen soon, then I was praying and asked him, like, confirm it with just a random person. So we were one day, I came to help you out with your tires because you get a lot of flat tires for some reason.
I do.
And we were going to the tire shop in the corner, but you were kind of upset that I wasn't being taking charge or something around those lines. So we went to this other place, and I kind of wanted to teach you a lesson the hard way, but I'm glad I did, because when we went there, the guy who was there was actually Christian, come to find out, and he kind of just confirmed it and said it's time to get married.
It was
and
crazy.
He was just asking, like, what are you waiting for? I got married in 3 months. I'm like, well, it's not 3 months, it's been 3 years, but I think it's time to get married. So yeah, that was confirmation, and I just knew. I knew that we were heading the same direction, so yeah.
That's so funny. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right, next question is, how long were you planning to ask to marry you?
That's a good question. I think, like, probably a lot of people probably spend a lot more time than I did. It took me probably like 2 or 3 months before I proposed, just because I'm a person who believes strongly that to live present in the moment and not let today be robbed by yesterday or by thinking constantly about the future. So when that happened, I just bought the ring and I paid it off. I had it on layaway and just paid it off in 3 months and got it custom ordered. So yeah, it was pretty quick. When you like do something in life, you move on to the next thing, you focus on that thing, and you just live the season that you're in and you enjoy it.
That's so true. He's
a freak when it comes to that.
He is a freak. Like, he puts it on his to-do list, he just scratches it off, and then he continues on. He moves on to the next thing.
Why would you worry about tomorrow if it hasn't come yet, you know? It's good to plan and prepare, but you gotta live today. That's all we have in the moment.
Next question is, when did you buy the ring?
I bought the ring at the same time, right when I knew it was time to get into that stage. I was like, okay, well, I had like other friends that probably bought like a year or two beforehand, and they were not sure when the time was gonna come, but I didn't like do that. I just knew when it was the time to do it. I just bought it.
My ring, I don't know if you guys could tell, it's pretty pretty. I don't know a lot about rings, but I know that what's in right now is getting a moissanite, which is very close to what a diamond is.
Good
obviously it's not a diamond, but it's like pretty close up there. But a diamond's forever, and he chose to get me a diamond ring. Like, why did you decide to go with this ring? I know I had sent him a photo for reference, but it was kind of just like I put it out there. But what made you decide to go with this one? How did you know it was the right ring?
Yeah, I knew it was the right ring because you told me it was what you wanted. I know very little about rings. I actually didn't even know that you have to buy 2 rings, that you have to buy a proposal and then a wedding band. So I found that out in the process, and I was actually surprised when I went to see the cost of what it is. So yeah, I had no clue about rings. I still don't know very much, but I learned a little bit along the process. Got a pretty good ring for a good price from a wholesaler, custom made, and it's GTX certified. I didn't know that they had different certifications, but this means that it's legit, that it's the best certification. So just like our love, you know, it's legit.
It's legit, exactly. All right, the next question is, did you ask my parents for their blessing? I know this answer, but I just love to hear it.
Yeah, I asked your parents for the blessing. I mean, I don't know. I don't really think it's old school. I think it's something that you should just do out of respect. I have heard other stories from other friends where people said no, where their parents said no, and they just had to be firm and be like, well, either way, I'm still gonna ask, but I'm doing this out of respect. But it was a good time, a good experience. It's good to have those memories, and you have to make sure that if you're gonna get married to your other significant other, that you don't just put up with their families, but you actually can accept them and love them, because they come with them. Like my family comes along, her family comes along, and so you have to have healthy boundaries, but at the same time you have to love them and accept them for who they are and what they're not as well.
That's great. All right, last question is, were you nervous to propose?
Yeah, I wasn't very nervous to propose. I don't know, I don't get really nervous. I like to live in the moment, and I think like when you start thinking about fears, you're like, well, that's not really true, and those are all lies, and you're just lying to yourself. I told myself that I was excited, so it was an exciting time, and I lived it, and I enjoyed it, and I made the best out of it. But I guess there was a lot of stress and pressure, because you tend to have high expectations. You want things to come out right, and you like surprises. So that brought a lot of extra pressure, and things covering up, and people having to lie to you, and then just like things that arise from that, and me being busy with everything. So yeah, it brought some pressure and stress from it, but I don't think I was really that nervous. I just wanted everything to go as best as possible and come out right. Now that you've asked me some questions, I want to ask you a question.
A question?
A question. Okay. So were you surprised on that day? Did you expect it at all?
I was surprised, yes, because now I know. Because every time I would talk to Julio about just life, he would always bring up his plans for the future, but never did he mention engagement. Obviously, we had talked about getting married, but I didn't think it would come as quickly as it did, because he would always talk about his business or going back to school to get his master's and just other things that required money. And I know that a wedding also requires a lot of money, and living together and just all of that. I didn't see it happening, so I was surprised. But I also had an idea, because my sister was acting weird. He was acting weird the week prior to proposing, so it was just off. The way that it happened, I want to talk a little bit about that really quick. The way that it happened is my aunt, we have a family chat. She had posted in the chat saying that we were gonna take some Christmas photos at a park. I didn't think anything weird about that, because my aunt would say something like that. She's always the one to plan things in our family. But what I thought was weird was the location of it. I didn't think like Christmas photos at a park, I didn't think it went. But when I got to the park, I remember walking with my grandma, and from a distance I see this big crowd of people, and we were looking for my family. And I'm like, there's no way that's them, because I don't have that big of a family. And then I saw a balloon, and it was a balloon of the ring. As I got closer, I saw him, and I'm like, he wasn't gonna be a part of the photo shoot. So I'm like, wait, what? So as I got closer, I saw him. I'm like, okay, now I know what's happening. And then I saw a videographer, and I saw a photographer, his friend who took the photos, and it was just weird. So as I got there, I freaked out. But one thing that I noticed was I don't react in the moment. Obviously, when I saw him, I was just like, okay, something's happening. So I started to kind of get flustered a little bit, and my voice started to break. I'm like, oh my God. But then when he brought me to the table and he told me I'm gonna show you guys the video, but when he was talking to me, I was just kind of keeping my composure. And then later on when it happened, there's moments even like it's been a month. Today's actually a month since you proposed. I'll really sit down and think about it, and I'll start to cry, or I'll get really, really excited. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new, and comment down below if you're in a relationship and for how long.
Yeah, how long you've been in a relationship and if this helped you in any way. Without further ado,
let's show you the video.
When I first met you, I didn't know how to feel or what to think, but I just couldn't keep my eyes off of you. And the more I got to know you, the more I got to like you, and the more I fell in love with you. Our love just collided, and many memories, and I'm excited for the memories that are to come. I think when we were young, we didn't really know what we were doing. We didn't really think about this moment. We just knew that we wanted to be around each other. I think I knew I wanted to be with you when I saw how you loved your family, how you loved the people that are closest to you deeply. Just your ambition and your drive and your desire to always keep going, to never give up, to always push forward, and just your excitement to live life to the fullest. I look forward to living the rest of my life with you. I don't see myself with anybody else. I see myself getting old with you, having kids, buying a house. And what excites me most about marriage is just being able to know each other more, to serve each other better, to be there for one another, to know Jesus more, to understand the relationship with Jesus more, to glorify Him, and to do something with our lives, to make something out of ourselves, and to go after dreams and ambitions. And so, I love you, Vanessa. Will you marry me?
Yes, of course. Thank you.